Hey, hey, welcome to the Summit Host Hangout podcast, where you'll learn how to host a high converting virtual summit that leads to your biggest signature offer launch yet. I'm your host, Krista from Summit in a Box, and today we are diving into something I've been noticing more and more, and it's always existed. It's just that I haven't noticed it as much as I have over the last couple of years. And that is what I am going to be nerdy and refer to as the speaker success gap. Let's just call it that, and you'll kind of see why as we go here. But if you've hosted a summit, you have probably noticed this gap before with things like speakers asking to be paid when you pitch because they don't understand or value the built-in benefits of participating, or they've participated in summits where those things aren't built in. You might have noticed it when a speaker cannot handle and grasp the difference between a freebie and an all-access pass contribution. And you might have seen it when someone asks what to include in their presentation or how to record it when it gets to that point. Or when a speaker with hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers ends up not having an email list to promote to. And I know some of you are nodding along oh my gosh, yes. That's the kind of thing I'm referring to with this gap. It's this massive disconnect between what we as summit hosts expect speakers to know and what many experts actually understand about online marketing and summit participation. And I think this is so important. I have been diving into this more over the last couple months, collecting more stories, and I wanted to dive into that with you today on the podcast, kind of talk more about what this looks like, why I think it's a thing, and more importantly, what I think you can do about it to really make it a win-win for yourself and your speakers. And we can even add an extra win in there for your attendees. It can be a good thing. It is something that we can resolve. Before we get into how do we actually solve this problem, I want to make sure we get really clear on this. Ask my community in my Facebook group and on Instagram, tell me some stories. What have you experienced around this? Where have you gone to reach out to speakers and realize oh, whoa, they don't know nearly as much about summits or online marketing as I thought. One person said, and I quote, "I begged my speakers to start an email list so they could at least maximize the opportunity for themselves." So she pitched these speakers and found they don't even have lists. Another person said, 90% of my speakers had issues understanding what the bonus and freebie were, even after several thorough explanations. That's frustrating. But I've seen situations where speakers with massive social media followings have no idea how to capture a lead or set up a basic email welcome sequence. I have heard of hosts spending way too much time trying to teach their speakers how to record a presentation that doesn't look and sound like garbage. It's a real struggle. But I would say there are 4 main areas we can sort all these frustrations into. So first, there's this gap with basic technology and marketing. Many speakers, I think especially in the B2C space, so not the business owner space, but other things out there, or people who are newer to online business, they just don't have these fundamental systems in place or the understanding of how it all works. They don't have email lists, lead magnets, sales funnels, or even a clear understanding of what those things are or how they work together. We have gotten over those hurdles already, right? But other people have not. Second, I think there is this gap in value or perceived value. So when speakers don't understand how summits benefit them, they see your invitation as just asking them to work for free. They might ask or demand payment or just kind of approach the opportunity with hesitation or resentment or just turn it down altogether because they don't understand. Third, there's a promotion gap. I think without understanding how promoting the event benefits them directly or understanding how everyone coming together ends up benefiting everyone, a lot of speakers will just do the bare minimum, if anything, to drive registrations because they don't get it. And then finally, there's this gap with engagement. So speakers, when they don't see the bigger picture, they're not going to engage with attendees or other speakers or anything like that because they think it's wasting their time. When in reality, that's missing out on one of the most valuable aspects of the summit experience. We had a recent podcast episode with Sarah Alapin that I'll try to remember to link in the show notes, where she talked about this, from a speaker's perspective, what a difference it makes when you are active in the community. And speakers don't even know that or don't even realize that. Heck, I have not leveraged it as much as I should have in the past, right? Now, something I think is interesting is that I don't think this gap exists because speakers are being difficult or because they don't care. It's because of these fundamental, differences in business models and experience and things like that. So a lot of experts build their platforms and businesses in ways that don't rely on email marketing or digital products. So if you're thinking of experts like B2C creators who grew through social media marketing almost on accident sometimes, or sometimes literally on accident. And they're monetizing through sponsorships and affiliate links and things like that, or ads. Subject matter experts who primarily work with clients one-on-one is another example. Another is like traditional professionals, either transitioning into the online space or not, right? Just like people who are doing their job, who are really great at what they do. And you're like, hey, you have something incredible to share and I want more people to hear about it. And then there's also influencers, again, with big platforms who've just never needed to think about things like conversion rates or sales funnels before. We know it would benefit them, but they don't, right? Like they can be incredible at what they do and offer a ton of value, but their businesses are just absolutely different. And understanding how summits work and how our version of online marketing works just hasn't been necessary for them. Like we have been immersed in all of this for so long that I think we kind of forget how specialized this knowledge actually is. Like, man, go out to someone on the street and try to explain it and you'll get a reminder. But like we assume everyone understands things like lead generation and list building and sales funnels because they're foundational to our business models, but it's not foundational to everyone. So like what happens when we have these gaps, and they're not addressed? A lot of you already know the answer. Like everyone loses is the short answer, but I'll give you the long answer too. Like your speakers, let's look at your speakers first. Like they miss out on so much. They miss out on leads. They miss out on sales, visibility, relationships, all of these things that can really build their business. Your attendees are going to receive presentations from speakers who might be delivering really great content but aren't engaged in the experience, or maybe it's great content with a terrible delivery, right? Their video or audio or whatever isn't great. Like all kinds of things can show up on the attendee side. You end up frustrated because you're not happy with the promotion. Your speakers are confused and you're needing to give them way more support than you expected. And the results just fall short of what you expected and like what you know in your heart is possible. And I've seen hosts react to this in a few different ways. So like, I mean, most often I just see them get frustrated, right? They blame their speakers for being difficult or lazy or not doing what they need to make the event succeed. I see them like turning around and implementing really harsh promo requirements the second time around. Like, okay, nobody promoted this time, so next time they have to send 3 emails, otherwise they're out or whatever, right? Or they decide that like summits don't work in my industry. I've seen all those things. The second approach is to kind of like give up and lower expectations. So they decide, maybe speaker promotion just isn't worth counting on. So they try to drive all their registrations themselves or through ads or through other things. And I definitely don't think it's bad to get creative and look at other methods. They can definitely work, but it just leaves so much potential on the table. And then the third approach, which I want to focus on today because I have not seen many hosts actually do it, is to like see this gap for what it is and take action to fix it, right? It is fixable. It's something we can work on together. So let's talk about how we can do that. I would say the most successful summit hosts I've worked with just understand that when their speakers succeed, when their attendees succeed, they also succeed. Like when you are benefiting other people, it's going to come back to you. And helping your speakers navigate this gap, helping them to understand the things they don't understand, it's not just kindness. Now, I really highly value kindness and loving people, but it's also just smart business. It goes hand in hand. Some of you have heard this example before, but in 2023, I produced a summit for a B2C client in the health space where for the first time, I was running into speakers who had zero summit experience, were not at all marketing savvy, even though they had these huge audiences, specifically on Instagram is where we were pulling them from. But when I realized this, I very quickly decided that we need to like step up our support game. We couldn't expect these speakers to just figure it out on their own. So I got a little creative. So the first thing I did was I hosted a live training for them where I showed them exactly how they could benefit through the summit, why promoting the event would benefit them, how to maximize leads and sales. And I just walked them through all those things and did a Q&A at the end. That was really helpful for some of them. It like kind of mind blowing in a way because they, like I said earlier, they just haven't had to learn these things yet. So it was really a quick crash course for them. But it was so important. After that, we developed a pretty simple opt-in and sales guide for like a PDF format. So the people who were at that training could go back and review, but also the people who, aren't the live training type, they had something, right? They at least had something. And then I even helped a couple of speakers one-on-one, like set up their first email marketing platforms and lead magnets and things like that so they could start capturing leads during the event. Now, that absolutely took time and energy that was not originally in the plan. I didn't get paid extra for that. I just really wanted to help. But the results were really impressive, especially like even right off the bat. Like those speakers that I was able to help directly became our most enthusiastic promo partners. They didn't have an email list, but they had these, active social media followings, and they promoted over and over. They were the most engaged participants. They, expressed how excited they were to move forward and build their list and come back and be able to contribute more promotion in the next round. It's like, who does that, right? The speakers who are speaking at every single summit, they're just like jaded, right? They don't even care anymore. You're not going to get that kind of promotion out of them. But when you are leaning in and helping people, that's how you get super fans who are just really dedicated to helping your event succeed because you were dedicated to helping them succeed. It all comes back around. Really, it's all because we transform what could feel like an obligation into an actual opportunity for them and teach them how to make other things opportunities in the future, right? It's not like this training or this help we give them only helps for our event. It helps for anything like it they're a part of in the future. And I just think it's a really incredible thing to do. So how do we do it, right? So I want to give you, some practical steps you can implement for your next summit. Some of these will be simple, some will be bigger. And of course, I have something to help you do it so you don't have to do anything yourself. The first thing I would say, you can take a couple different options with it. First, you can adjust your expectations depending on what your niche is and understand that not all speakers will come to your event with the same level of summit or marketing knowledge, right? There's no reason a lot of them should. Plan for that instead of being surprised by it. Something else you can do along with this is be more intentional with who you're pitching. If you don't want to have to support people, if you don't want to be surprised or disappointed by how much someone does or does not know, make sure you're pitching people who clearly have online marketing knowledge, right? This is something you can totally control. I think it's significantly easier in some niches than others, though. The second thing I think you can do is just be truthful and transparent and clear in your pitches. Communicate the benefits of participating in your summit from the speaker's perspective. So give examples of typical results they can expect. If you've hosted your summit before, hopefully you sent a form to your speakers afterward asking for their results. So you could say something like, in my past summit, speakers averaged 200 new subscribers and several generated 5 new client inquiries. You want to be able to say things like that if you can. The third thing you can do is give them resources and give them guidance. So create easy to understand guides or videos or whatever you want to do explaining how speakers can leverage the summit opportunity. So you can cover topics like making lead magnets and setting up email sequences and promoting in a way that benefits them and the kind of simple promotion they could do that will give them the most affiliate revenue and things like that. Some of them won't even know what affiliate revenue is, but that's just a whole other topic. The fourth thing you can do is offer a support session like I did. So one live hour call with your speakers where you're explaining how they can benefit from the summit, answering their questions, giving a demo, things like that. If you're in Summit in a Box or the Accelerator, you have my opt-in and sales guide. That's the perfect thing to use as an outline for your training and then a resource to give them afterwards. You could also create a community. Again, students and clients, you have our strategies and templates and scripts and tutorials for making a community, but that's where you can give them an easy place to ask questions. You can facilitate them helping each other and things like that. But those are some of the things you can do to help. I do totally realize though, since I have been in the position of being partway through planning a summit and needing to do these things, that it's not the easiest thing to just slip into your planning timeline, right? It's not no big deal, I can do this. It's oh my gosh, I already have a lot to do. How am I going to make time for this? And a lot of you probably don't even feel confident teaching it. And that's fair. So I have actually created a resource to do all the training for you. So I have created something called the Ultimate Summit Speaker Handbook. The word handbook kind of sells it short. So don't picture this little PDF. I go all in with my stuff. I went all in with this. It's designed essentially to bridge this gap, right? Bridge this gap for your speakers without requiring any of your time other than being here's the name and email address of the speaker who needs it. Boom, it's off to them. And now I teach them how to do it. It is a comprehensive course type setup. It includes everything your speakers need to fully leverage the opportunity you are providing them by letting them speak at your event, while also making your event more successful. Because again, when they win, you win. and you don't have to do a single thing yourself. So it covers everything from how they can create high impact presentations, so you don't have to worry about the quality, to how they can maximize lead generation, how they can generate revenue, how they can promote the event effectively. Like, it gives them the roadmap to everything they need. And I think it's really going to help those of you who are running into this consistently, or those of you, maybe you haven't even hosted a summit yet, but you know it's going to be an issue in the niche they're in. So I'm going to have a link to the Ultimate Summit Speaker Handbook for you in the show notes, or you can go to summitinabox.co/speaker handbook to learn more. Like, at the end of the day, these challenges are real. I know so many of you listening have gone through these things, and I know it's frustrating. It is definitely an extra barrier that you get to work through, that some of us in these B2B spaces where we have speakers who know the drill, like, we don't have to deal with these things, but it doesn't have to derail your summit. It is a hurdle you can overcome. I think just like recognizing it is step one, right? Just like any deep problems we have to recognize the problem is there first, but then just take intentional steps to fix it. And, I've made it as easy for you as you want it to be, but of course you can do it yourself as well. I think just the beautiful thing about this is, like, yeah, it increases our results, but for me, it's all about the people. Like, your speakers will feel so supported and empowered to make the most out of the opportunity you're giving them. Your attendees are going to have better content to watch and be connected with more experts. You're going to see better results through more promotion, better presentations, speakers who hopefully meet deadlines a little more often, a more active event community that your speakers actually show up in. And it is just a beautiful thing. So I'm so excited to see more and more of you grabbing this handbook, putting it into place, and seeing results from it. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode. For show notes and resources and details on the Ultimate Summit Speaker Handbook, you can head to the link in the episode description wherever you're listening to hop over to the show notes. For now, go out and take action to plan, strategize, and launch your high-converting virtual summit.